dig it. So cool and at a bar, and I'm looking